Good morning, friends. I am Professor D.M. Pawar. In today's session, we are going to study how to design a shaft based on ASME code. So, we'll just discuss the numerical for designing the shaft on ASME code. Here is the numerical. The line shaft supporting two pulleys A and B are shown in figure. Here is the figure is given. It is a line shaft that is to be designed. It is supported in two bearings, bearing 1, bearing 2. A and B are pulleys are placed on the shaft, pulley A and pulley B. Pulley A is having smaller pulley, it is having diameter 250 mm, and larger pulley B having diameter 450 mm. The power is supplied to the shaft by means of vertical belt on pulley A. Power is to be supplied to the pulley A with the help of belt drive, which is then transmitted to the pulley B carrying a horizontal belt. And it is in the side view of this diagram, it is observed that P1 and P2 are the tensions of pulley A, and these are the vertical direction. These are in vertical direction, and at pulley B, P3 and P4 are the tensions, and these are the horizontal tensions or in horizontal direction. The ratio of belt tension on tight side and loose side is given, that is 3:1 for both the pulleys. The limiting value of tension in the belt is 2.7 kilonewton. See, the limiting value is given, means maximum tension in the belt is given, but there are two pulleys, like two belts are there. So where will be the maximum, either for P1 maximum or for P3 maximum? That is not given. That we have to find. The next part is the line shaft is made of plain carbon steel having SUT 650 Newton per mm square and SYT 380 Newton per mm square. The pulleys are keyed to the shaft. Keyway is also given. The diameter of the shaft according to ASME code. Determine the diameter of the shaft according to ASME code. F, KB and KT. These are two factors for account for shock and fatigue load for bending as well as torsional moment that is given. So let us see the given data. Given data is SUT, SYT is given, KB and KT values are given. For belt drive, we are assuming initially P1 and P3 are the tensions in the tight side, and P2 and P4 are the tensions in the slack side. So this ratio is given, tight side to the slack side ratio. So that is nothing but 3, and maximum belt tension is given 2.7 kilonewton. So let us see how to find out the diameter of the shaft. So in the first step, it is required to find out the permissible shear stresses. So according to ASME code, the permissible shear stress is 0.3 SYT or 0.18 SUT, whichever is minimum in between them. So 0.3 SYT, by putting SYT in SUT values, I will get that two values. So it is 114 Newton per mm square, and 0.18 SUT is 117 Newton per mm square. So in this, the lower value of 2 is nothing but 114 Newton per mm square. So as there is a keyway is present, so we have to reduce the allowable shear stress by 25%. There will be the 25% reduction in the allowable shear stress. So ultimately, the final allowable shear stress or tau max value is 0.75 times the smaller value 114. So it is, according to ASME code, allowable shear stress value is 85.5 Newton per mm square. In the step number 2, we have to calculate torsional moment. So the maximum belt tension is given, that is 2.7 Newton. Then at this stage, it is unknown whether the P1 is maximum or P3 is maximum. So to calculate this maximum, we have to use the torque equation. So the torque transmitted by pulley A is equal to torque received by the pulley B. So both the pulleys are on the same shaft. So therefore, the torque transmitted by both the pulleys is equal. So I will equate the equation of torque for pulley A and pulley B like this. So this is left side is nothing but equation of torque for pulley A, that is P1 minus P2 into radius, that is the diameter divided by 2, and right side the equation of torque for the pulley B. So P3 minus P4 multiply by radius, that is 450 divided by 2. So by that equation, I get one equation in terms of this all these parameters P1, P2, P3, and P4. Let us say this is equation number A. Also, the ratio of belt tensions on the tight side to the loose side is also given, that is 3:1. So I will use that P2 is equal to P1 by 3 and P4 is equal to P3 by 3. So this is nothing but the equation B. So by substituting the values of equation B in equation 1, I will get these values. So instead of P2, I will put 1 by 3 into P1, and instead of P4, I have put in 1 by 3 into P3. So ultimately by solving these brackets, 2 by 3 into P1, that is equal to 1.8 times 2 by 3 into P3. So I will get this final equation, that is in terms of P1 and P3. So it can be seen that P1 is equal to 1.8 times P3. So it is clearly mentioned by this equation, we can conclude that P1 is a maximum tension. So P1 is larger than P3. So whatever the limiting tension is given, 2.7 kilonewton, that will be the P1 value. So P1 is equal to 2700 Newton. Based on that, we can calculate P2 value. That is P2 is nothing but P1 divided by 3. So it is 900 Newton. Similarly, we can calculate P3 by this equation. P3 is nothing but P1 divided by 1.8. So it is 1500 Newton. And as we know the P3, we can calculate P4 also. P4 is P3 divided by 3. So it is 500 Newton. So that's how we calculate all these P1, P2, P3 and P4. So finally, how to find out the torque transmitted by the shaft is, so MT is equal to P1 minus P2. Either we can calculate for any pulley. So we consider the pulley A. So P1 minus P2 into radius of that pulley. So this is nothing but by putting the values of P1 and P2, I will get the torque value as 225,000 Newton mm. So that's how we can calculate the torque on the shaft. So next, third step is to calculate the bending moment. So to calculate bending moment, let us consider this diagram. In that, for pulley A, for vertical plane, we know that P1 and P2 are nothing but the vertical forces. So P1 is equal to 2700 and P2 is equal to 900 Newton. And the total vertical force acting on pulley A is nothing but addition of these two. So total vertical force acting at pulley A is nothing but P1 plus P2. That is addition of these two, that is equal to 3600 Newton. You can see here in the vertical plane diagram 3600 Newton. That is acting at point A, vertically downward. Now, as this force, there is only one force in the vertical plane. So it is very easy to calculate these reactions at bearing 1 and bearing 2. These are the reactions. Vertical reactions are nothing but the same, and that is equal to 3600 divided by 2 directly, because this is only one force acting, and that force acting at a center from these two bearings. You can see here 450 and 450 equidistant from the both the bearings. So reaction at these bearings are equal, and that is equal to force divided by 2. So these are the reactions. So how to find out the bending moment in vertical plane? So as we get the reaction here in this diagram, so 1800, that reaction multiply by this distance, that will be the bending moment. You can see here RV, reaction at vertical plane, multiply by 450. 450 is nothing but this distance. So that is ultimately putting the value of RV here. I will get the bending moment in vertical plane 810,000 Newton mm. So that is bending moment at point A in vertical plane. So bending moment at point B in vertical plane is 0. There is no bending moment at point B because that bearing, that pulley is an overhanged pulley. Next, we have to find out in bending stress in horizontal plane also. So let us see for pulley B, horizontal forces are there. P3 and P4 are horizontal forces. It is given in the numerical. So for that purpose, P3 is equal to 1500 and P4 is equal to 500 Newton. We have calculated that values. So the total force acting at pulley B is given by addition of these two, 1500 and 500. That because both the forces P3 and P4 are acting in the same direction. So you can see here 2000 Newton is force acting at the end at pulley B in this point, in this diagram. So for that, we have to calculate these reactions. So this is nothing but the reaction at A, first point, and this is nothing but the reaction at second bearing, 2,5. So how it comes, we will see here. So reaction at bearing 1 is nothing but we have to consider the summation of all the forces is equal to 0. So there are only three forces, this force, this second, and these two reactions, and one force only. So this is nothing but the 2000 is a downward force, we consider as a positive. So reaction at one bearing that is additional, and as this force is negative and that will be equal to 0, so I will put directly that to the right side. So ultimately equation become 2000 plus r1, and that is equal to r2. See here, this is nothing but the first bearing, this one is a second bearing, and r1 is here and r2 is here. So these are the reactions at horizontal plane at bearing 1 and bearing 2. So by that equation I will get equation number A. Similarly, second equation I will get by taking moment about point 1 is equal to 0. So this is for equilibrium condition, moment about point 1, this bearing 1 is nothing but 0. So I will take the moment of all the forces. Here you can see the clockwise moment is will take positive. So 2000 into moment to total distance this one. So that is 1150. 2000 is a force and total distance 1150. This is a clockwise moment and other is nothing but anti-clockwise moment. So I will equate that two values again. So this will be the R2 point, R2 reaction at bearing 2, and multiply by distance is 900. So by that equation I can get the value of R2. Reaction at bearing 2 is nothing but 2556 Newton. You can see here, this is 2556. That is reaction at bearing 2. And I will put this equation B in equation A. So I will get the value of R1 also. So R1 is 555.556 Newton. You can see here 555.556, or that is equal to 556 directly. This is reaction at bearing 1. So after knowing the reactions, we have to calculate the bending moments in horizontal plane. So for the bending moment at point 2, here this is point 2. So bending moment at point 2 is nothing but, you can see the force, we have to take any side force. So I will take this 2000 force, multiply by distance is nothing but 250. Here you can see 2000 multiplied by 250. So this is 500,000 Newton mm. That will be the reaction at 2 in horizontal plane. Similarly, bending moment. Bending moment at A in horizontal plane is, for point A, I will take this force. For horizontal plane, I will take this force 556. So it is 555.556. That is the exact value I have to take here. Multiply by 450. 450 is nothing but this distance. You can see here up to point A. So by that calculation, the bending moment at A is nothing but 250,000 Newton mm. You can see in this diagram also 250,000 and 500,000 here in this. So these are the bending moments. So as there are vertical plane and horizontal planes are there, so we have to find out the resultant bending moment at A point and at bearing 2, and we have to check where will be the maximum bending moment, and that is to be taken for further calculation. So for calculating the resultant bending moment at A, by simple under root of bending moment at A vertical square plus bending moment at A horizontal square. We have calculated these values. You can see the bending moment at A in vertical plane 810,000 and in horizontal plane 250,000. So by putting these two values here, the bending moment at resultant bending moment will come 847,703 Newton mm. Similarly, we have to take the bending moment at B, as bending moment, resultant bending moment at point 2 is nothing but, that is simply resultant bending moment at point 2 is 500. You can see here only one bending moment will be there in a horizontal plane. In vertical plane, resultant bending moment in at point 2 in vertical plane is 0. So here the resultant bending moment at 2 is nothing but 500,000 Newton. So you can see that by these two, comparing these two values, bending moment at A will be the maximum, and that is to be taken for further calculations, means to calculate the diameter of shaft. So step number 4 is to calculate shaft diameter based on ASME code. So according to ASME code, we have to first calculate the equivalent twisting moment. So according to ASME code, equivalent twisting moment formula is like this: MTE is equal to under root of KT MT bracket square plus KB MB bracket square. This KT and KB are nothing but factors to consider shock and fatigue loading. So that is also given in the numerical. So by putting KT is equal to 1, KB is equal to 1.5, MT we have calculated in step number 2 and MB we calculated in previous step. So by putting all these values, I will calculate equivalent twisting moment. Again, for the maximum shear stress theory, tau max is equal to 16 MTE upon pi d cube. So that tau max value we have calculated in the first step, allowable shear stress for according to ASME code, that is 85.5. Then 16 as it is, MTE, equivalent torque twisting moment, I will put this bracket as it is, under root of all these things, and divided by pi d cube. So by that equation, you can see here the diameter is unknown. So with solving this equation, I will get the diameter as 42.53 mm. So that's how we can calculate, or we can design the shaft based on ASME code. Thank you.